The Arctic highway stretched endlessly ahead, framed by towering, snow-dusted peaks and glassy fjords shimmering under the never-setting midnight sun. The rolling den, freshly repaired after its wallet-draining overhaul in Tromsø, hummed along with mechanical confidence, its engine sounding suspiciously too healthy, like a guilty dog after raiding the trash. Inside, Fluffy, a long-haired brown tabby with piercing green eyes, perched regally on the dashboard, monitoring the horizon with practiced disdain. Emma, my perpetually optimistic human, tapped her fingers on the steering wheel, deep in thought as the Arctic wind howled outside like a banshee auditioning for Frozen 3, Elsa's Arctic Revenge. Suddenly, Emma spoke, more to herself than anyone else. We really should give this van a proper name. I twitched an ear. Oh, here we go. Humans and their endless need to label things, cars, plants, Wi-Fi networks. How about the Glacier Cruiser? She mused. I rolled my eyes. Sounds like a failed cruise line where everything smells like wet socks and despair. She chuckled at her own brilliance. Or the Fjord Explorer. Explore the fjords, while hoping the brakes hold, I thought bitterly. Her face lit up with amusement. Van Halen, always on tour, unstoppable. I snorted silently, just like bad 80s hairstyles. She kept brainstorming, clearly enjoying herself. Maybe Arctic Warrior? More like financially exhausting warrior, I mentally corrected. Freedom Chaser? She offered hopefully. Freedom from my peace and quiet, clearly. After a long, thoughtful pause, she tapped the wheel again. Vandalf the Grey, she whispered, trying the name out. Her smile widened as if struck by divine inspiration. Wise, resilient, stubborn, always shows up when you least expect it. I paused. Okay, that wasn't terrible. In fact, it felt oddly fitting. The van had survived snowstorms, Arctic winds, engine breakdowns, and my constant contempt, and it still rolled on like some mythical beast out of a low-budget fantasy series. Emma patted the dashboard affectionately. Vandalf the Grey, it's perfect. I flicked my tail with reluctant approval. Fine. But if you start talking about quests and magic rings, I'm jumping ship. The Arctic highway twisted through rugged cliffs and icy fjords that sparkled in the eternal daylight. Time felt warped, with the sun hovering endlessly above the horizon, like an overachieving intern afraid to clock out. Emma drove with practiced focus, adjusting her sunglasses against the blazing light. I prowled the interior of Vandalf, leaping from the kitchenette counter to the fold-out bed in a well-practiced patrol. Spotting a loose sock on the floor, I pounced with calculated ferocity, defeating it in glorious combat. Victory secured, I paraded my trophy across the cabin like a conquering hero. Emma caught sight of me through the rearview mirror and smirked. Troublemaker, she muttered with fond amusement. Correction, supreme conqueror of socks. By the time we reached Nordkapp, the northernmost point of Europe, the Arctic wind howled like it was auditioning for a Viking metal band. Towering cliffs jutted into the stormy sea, defiantly resisting time and tide. The iconic Nordkapp globe stood silhouetted against the pale Arctic sky like the world's most dramatic Instagram prop. Emma parked Vandalf the Grey near the cliffside lot, practically buzzing with excitement. She leapt out, camera in hand, ready to capture the edge of the world, or at least rack up some serious social media points. I begrudgingly hopped down after her, fur fluffing instantly against the Arctic wind. The view was, well, I hated to admit it, but even I couldn't ignore the brutal beauty of the place. Endless oceans stretched into infinity, merging sea and sky into a seamless expanse of eternal grey. Emma stood at the cliff's edge, her breath visible in the icy air. She snapped photo after photo, completely lost in the moment. I settled onto the van's roof, my tail curled neatly around me as I surveyed the harsh, untamed world stretching endlessly beyond the horizon. Perhaps, just perhaps, this ridiculous, winding journey had been worth it after all. The wind blasted another icy gust directly into my fur, shattering the moment. I hissed, retreating into Vandalf the Grey's warm interior. Still hate that sun, though.